Okay, dear students, good evening. First of all, I am extremely sorry for getting late because due to some technical fault in the system, I have been waiting here since last 10 minutes. But due to some, you can say, just slackness in the system, I could not make a contact with you people. So just you will tolerate this for today. As I have told you earlier, we are already going across the topic modern history. For the sake of convenience, we have divided modern history in 4 parts. And we have actually adopted the very specific approach to the study of modern history. That may be slightly new for you, but I think within 1 week or 10 days, you will be much more comfortable with me. Because in the history of the method I have just developed or evolved in teaching history, that is so comfortable, even the students from engineering background, science background, or you can say, or other technical education background like management, etc., they feel very comfortable, no problem at all. Because to study history is to underline the changes, or in order to underline the changes, I have devised a specific formula. In the history of 18th century, we have divided it in 2 subparts, the first half of 18th century and the second half of 18th century. This first half of 18th century, that is, this period is exclusively marked by the disintegration of the Mughal Empire and the rise of the regional states. Yesterday, we have already covered this area. And then I have just put a, you can say, controversial and debatable issue before you. How did you characterize this first half of 18th century? Whether it should be characterized as the symbol of decline or the dark age, or it should be projected as an era with new potentialities, means in the pre-modern age. What should be the specific approach? Today I will deal with certain questions as well, and I will make you clear what stand should be adopted by you people whenever you have to confront the question. मतलब आप लोगों को पता चल जाएगा कि भाई आप किस तरह के मेथड को फॉलो करोगे, और मैं बिल्कुल ही क्वेश्चन में इसको क्रिस्टल क्लियर कर दूंगा. दो स्टूडेंट्स हु आर कमिंग फ्रॉम इंग्लिश बैकग्राउंड, you should have the patience, because in writing you need English, but in understanding you need Hindi. And those students who are coming exclusively from English background, I will try to cater to both the students simultaneously. मैं दोनों को ध्यान रखूंगा. And from today onwards, I am going to introduce a new system. From today, as I have promised you earlier yesterday, I will place 5 questions, multiple choice question, MCQ questions. And you people are supposed to answer the 5 questions first, although it will involve rather 3 to 4 minutes for me, but I am just ready for spend the time for your sake, because once you are going to deal with such questions, so that questions will make you mentally alert, and whenever you will just do revision work at your home, you will be more mentally alert for the fear कि in tomorrow's class we have to deal with the 5 questions. मतलब ये जो 5 क्वेश्चंस मैं दे रहा हूं वो आपको और भी मेंटली अलर्ट बनाएगा, क्योंकि जब आप रिवाइज कर रहे होगे तो आपके दिमाग में ये बात आएगी कि अगर मैं आज बढ़िया से रिवाइज नहीं करूंगा तो कल की तारीख में जाकर वो हमें परेशानी पैदा कर सकता है. सो दैट्स व्हाई हियर यू हैव टू गिव. नाउ जस्ट ऑब्जर्व, व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेट्स वेर नॉट द सक्सेसर स्टेट्स ऑफ द मुगल बट एस्टैब्लिश्ड थ्रू रेबेलियन. मतलब here you have to find out the states yesterday on the map. You people might have done the map work. There are so many states, because you know that after the disintegration of Mughal Empire, multi-state system was a common feature. Some states were the successor states. Successor states means that old Mughal, old Mughal officers founded the states or laid the foundation of the state. And the second category of states might have been produced due to the rebellion work. So you can see that some states were formed due to, you can say, rebellion or due to rebellion by certain important and certain, you can say, Mughal officers. So there are the 2 category of states, and in this question particularly you have to find out which of the following states were not the successor states of the Mughals but established through rebellion. So please, you have to find out point 1 Awadh, पॉइंट 2 ट्रावनकोर, पॉइंट 3 जाट, पॉइंट 4 रोहिल अफगान। कोड है A124, B1 3 and 4, C3 and 4, D all of the above. My students, be fast and responsive and try to answer the question as early as possible. Be fast. Maximum students C, 3 and 4, Jat and Rohil Afghan. Yes, excellent. You have done the excellent work. You have selected the right choice. आपने बिल्कुल ही सही choice को चुना है. That's good. Question number 2. Consider the following pairs. Now we have to consider the following pairs. In the left side there is a state, another is the ruler. In the left side, one Awadh, Murshidabad, Murshid Kuli Khan. Point 2 Bengal, Alivardi Khan. 3 Travancore, Martin Burma. Here the question is, which of the above pairs are correctly matched? Choice A 1 and 2 only, B 1 and 3 only, C 2 and 3 only, D all of the above. Which one of them is or are correctly matched? So please, my students, be fast and responsive. Be fast. Maximum number of students C. Yes, matlab Bengal, Alivardi Khan and Travancore, Martin Verma. Correct answer. Very correct. Good. As this is your first question, first test, so that's why I have slightly put the questions in the easy manner, but later I will just improve the standard of the question. Consider the following pairs. State ruler. Point 1. What were the reasons behind the failures of Marathas in the Third Battle of Panipat? What were the reasons behind the failures of Marathas in the Third Battle of Panipat? Point 1. Lack of support of Indian states. Point 2. Disagreements among Maratha chieftains. Point 3. The Marathas didn't have required number of soldiers. So there are the three statements and you have to choose the right choice. Code A 1 only, B 2 only, C, that should be C. C, both 1 and 2, D, all of the above. So my students, be fast and responsive. Be quick. That is, B is misprinting here. You have to take it as C. Maximum B. What were the reasons behind the failures of Marathas in the Third Battle of Panipat? Point 1, lack of support of Indian states. 2, disagreement among Maratha chieftains. And 3rd, the Marathas didn't have required number of soldiers. My students, here the answer should be C, 1 and 2. Because you cannot put a question mark to the numerical strength of Maratha soldiers. Because particularly after the Maratha movement, when the Maratha saints just, undermined the caste division in Maharashtra, and the opportunity and the door for military service was open to all the castes. So a large number of people, and you can say the people from different castes, got recruited into soldiery. So Marathas were not lacking the required number of soldiers. So point number 3rd is not the right choice. मतलब एक्चुअली हुआ क्या, जो मराठा सेंट्स थे उन्होंने एकदम कास्ट बेसिस को डिरिकॉग्नाइज कर दिया, मतलब उसको उन्होंने एक तरह से अंडरमाइन किया, उसको जो कास्ट डिवीजन है उसको उन्होंने डिनाई किया। तो एक ही सबको आइडेंटिटी दी, मराठा आइडेंटिटी। उसे डिफरेंट कास्ट के लोग थे, सोल्जर्स में आ सकते थे, इसलिए मराठों के पास सोल्जर्स की कमी नहीं थी, सैनिकों की कमी नहीं थी। Which of the following rulers were associated with Awadh? Ab which one of the following rulers or ruler were associated with Awadh? Associated with Awadh. Point 1, Safdar Jung. Point 2, Sujaud Dawla. Point 3, Sarfaraz Khan. So there are the three rulers of my students. You are supposed to choose one of them. Please select. Be fast. Maximum number A. Yes, correct. Absolutely correct. You are the intelligent student. 1 and 2. Sarfaraj Khan is from Bengal. Now one question from assertion and reasoning. Just try to follow the rules of assertion and reasoning. In choice A and R both are correct and R is the correct explanation for A. Choice B, A and R both are correct, but R is not the correct explanation for for A. And choice C, A is correct, R incorrect, and choice D, A is incorrect and R is correct. So these are the four choices. A statement: in the first half of 18th century, many small states were established, replacing the Mughal Empire. Reason: after Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire became much weaker. But here the first statement is here I have to discuss about कि the multi-state system became a common feature in the first half of 18th century. Reasoning, or you can say a large number of smaller states came into existence during first half of 18th century. And here reasoning is after Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire became much weaker. Matlab, the central command became weaker. So that is the reasoning. So please go through it and just try to find out the answer. Yes, that is the correct answer. So my students, in this way, you have in the first test, you people have done extremely well, and this is the first test. Then the test will continue. Even other classes I will continue. Today I will deal with the questions in main examination as well, and I will give you some clue to you for question writing. So just in a studies class, at the point I have left, I have to start today at the same point. So please pay attention to it. Just 1 minute. Have you not disconnected NCERT? Okay, study Mr. Ankur. I have already given you the advice. You simply put the 18th century, history of 18th century, but possibly even today you have forgot the point. It's very difficult and ticklish task. Now controversy regarded the first half of 18th century, whether it was the era of disintegration or decline, or you can say era imbued with new potentialities. So in studies class I have made you clear कि there are the two different perspectives of historiography. देखो, हिस्टोग्राफी कहते हैं कि अलग अलग हिस्टोरियंस के जो ग्रुप हैं, उन्होंने 18th सेंचुरी के फर्स्ट हाफ के इवैल्यूएशन में दो डिफरेंट अप्रोचेज रखा है. एक का कहना है कि यार ये तो बहुत बुरा हुआ, मुगल एम्पायर टुकड़ों में बट गया, फ्रेगमेंटेड हो गया, पॉलिटिकल अपहेवल्स आया, उथल पुथल की स्थिति आई, इसमें मराठा ब्रिगेड्स जो थे, मराठा लड़ाकू थे, वो लूटपाट करने लगे. इस कारण से जो पॉलिटिकली है, पॉलिटिकल एनार्की का टाइम आ गया. इकोनॉमिकली मुगल एम्पायर क्राइसिस में आ गया. और कल्चरली कहते हैं कि भाई मुगल एम्पायर पहले आर्ट और लिटरेचर को पैट्रोनाइज करता था, उसको संरक्षण देता था. अब मुगल एम्पायर के चूंकि दिन लद गए, तो अब जो बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट हैं और लिटरेरी पर्सन्स है, दे वे आर रेंडर्ड अनएम्प्लॉयड, दे स्टार्टेड टू मूव हियर एंड देयर बिकॉज नो वन वाज टू पैट्रोनाइज देम. तो बड़ा ब्लीक पिक्चर खींचा है फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी को. अब एक हिस्टोरियन थे जिनका नाम था सर जगन्नाथ सरकार. उन्होंने कहा कि द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी proved the dark age in Indian history. This was the dark age in Indian history. And actually, what is the basis for characterizing it as the Dark Age, you know? According to them, this period is marked by political fragmentation, and there was the rise of regional states after the disintegration of Mughal Empire. And this period is marked by political anarchy, particularly for the fact that Marathas started to play the very mischievous role. It was working at the Marathas, they were working as the subversive forces. They were moving here and there while doing looting and adjan, you can say, that is plundering. So pillaging the different areas were just ravaged by Marathas. So political upheavals were there. And economically, it was the moment of crisis for Mughal Empire, and culturally, it was the decline of art and literature as a great patron to this. The art and literature vanished, and that was Mughal Empire itself. So in this way, he tried to explain it. But my friends, a new approach of historiography just comes to believe that those historians who are taking the first half of 18th century as the sign of decline, the same historians is taking the second half of 18th century as you can say as an era of positive change, and try to link the second half of 18th century to the phenomena of the modernization of India. And for them, the major landmark is the Battle of Plassey, because the Battle of Plassey, they tried to establish that after the Battle of Plassey, the medieval age ended and modern age started, which I will discuss with you today. So actually, it was the conscious efforts of some historians to create a dark background for the first half of 18th century, and then to project the second half of 18th century or the foundation of the British rule in India as a white circle on the dark background, so that the contrast is clearly visible. मैंने उनका कहना है कि देखो, इन्होंने जानबूझ के डार्क एज कहा फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 18th सेंचुरी को, क्योंकि डार्क एज यानी अंधकार का युग कहने का फायदा यह था कि ब्रिटिश रूल में उनको कुछ ऐसा दिखाना पड़ जाता कि देखो भैया, जो बैटल ऑफ प्लासी हुआ उसने इंडिया को मॉडर्नाइजेशन की तरफ ले गया, मॉडर्न एरा की तरफ ले गया. सो इट वाज द साइन ऑफ द प्रोग्रेस. बेसिक आई थिंक कि यू पीपल मे हैव बीन फैमिलियर विथ. तो दिस वाज था. जो ट्रेडिशनल हिस्टोग्राफी है वो तो इसको एरा ऑफ डिक्लाइन ही मानता है और पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन का टाइम भी मानता है. लेकिन जो न्यू हिस्टोग्राफी है, जो न्यू लाइट है, उनका कहना है कि देखो भैया, व्हाई यू आर जस्ट कैरेक्टराइजिंग दिस पीरियड एज द एरा ऑफ डिक्लाइन. So far as the question of political fragmentation is concerned, so don't try to overblow this phenomena and don't try to overestimate the impact of the political fragmentation, because it is true that there was the demise of a mighty Mughal Empire, but just count in history how many empires have so far been created, starting from ancient period Magadhan Empire, then Mauryan Empire, then Guptan Empire, then Empire of Harsha, then Pratihara Empire, then the Empire of Delhi, Sultans of Delhi like Alauddin Khalji to Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and then finally the Mughal Empire, and then the demise. So if you are just going to count the total area of history, you are starting from 6th century BCE from the Magadhan Empire, so in some total up to 18th century, or total in the history of 2500 years, maximum era of empire is 700 years or 800 years altogether. But for the rest of the period, the India is visited by the regional states and you can say multi-state system. So multi-state system is the actual phenomena of India due to its geographical and cultural diversities, and empire is a rare thing. Number one. So you should not mourn over the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. The first thing, कि आप मुगल एम्पायर के डिमाइस पर शोक मनाना छोड़ दीजिए, क्योंकि इंडियन हिस्ट्री में बहुत कम एरा, बहुत कम टाइम ऐसा रहा जब बड़े एम्पायर आए. अधिकांश समय में मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम छोटे स्टेट रहे. सम टोटल यही उनका कहना है. देन द सेकेंड वन फैक्टर इज कि regional, earlier it was believed that कि empire is the sign of progress and the presence of empire is treated as a progressive affair, while the multi-state system or the regional state system or the regional state formation of regional state was treated as a phenomena of decline. But this old and outdated mentality, this is outward mentality, please discard this mentality, because the regional states are giving patronage to art and literature. It is working for the regional development, and in case of a big empire, this mighty empire is collecting all the taxes and spending the tax on in the capital, and the region is relatively neglected. So why you are just, you can say, praising empire and why you are degrading the regional states? तो ये फिनोमेना खास के जब डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन का एरा आया तो फिर ये बात आ गई। और तीसरी चीज ये है कि इवन द रीजनल स्टेट्स ऑफ निजाम, this Bengal, Awadh, Mysore, they could give, even Travancore, they could give better government to their own people, and at the regional level, they could have provided the better government, the very good quality of the government, you can say. So my students, here I have to inform you, you people have to be very clear about the fact that we should not decry the regional states during this period. According to this second one view, I am just telling you. As for the economy, it is believed that it might be a crisis for the Mughal Empire. It might be a crisis for the Mughal Empire, but for India, it was a sign of progress because there was the influx of precious metal from Europe due to European trade. And as a result of the contact with the European countries, the cash crops were introduced in India. उनका ये कहना है भाई इकोनॉमिकली पॉलिटिकली तो चलो रीजनल स्टेट से वो अच्छे अच्छे गवर्नमेंट दे रहे हैं, और इकोनॉमिकली तुम देख रहे हो कि उस समय पंपिंग हो रहा है सोने एंड गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर का इंडिया में। यूरोपियन कंपनी प्रेसियस मेटल गोल्ड और सिल्वर ला रही है, और बहुत सारे कैश क्रॉप्स आ रहे हैं, मेज, टोबैको, रेड चिलीज, पोटैटोज, द न्यू क्रॉप्स वर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन इवन हॉर्टिकल्चर। तो इंडिया की एग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी भी एक्सपेंड कर रही है। तो भाई सब कुछ अच्छा अच्छा जा रहा है। उल्टा जब ब्रिटिश पलासी का बैटल जीतेंगे तो वो जो भी प्रेशियस मेटल वहां से लाते थे वो लाना कम कर देंगे और इंडिया के रेवेन्यू से यहाँ का गुड्स खरीदना शुरू कर देंगे। तो आप ही बताइए वो अच्छा करने जा रहे हैं या बुरा करने जा रहे हैं? तो ये इकोनॉमी प्रोग्रेस का टाइम है, इसको आप इकोनॉमी डिक्लाइन क्यों कर रहे हो? दिस वॉज द बेसिक कॉज। इट वॉज द इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ सिल्वर, द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ कैश क्रॉप्स, rather the whole process was disrupted after the battle of Palasi and foundation of the British rule in Bengal. Why you are you can say singing the success of the British, and why you are praising the you can say battle of Palasi and its impact, and why you are degrading basically the first half of 18th century, although on many front it is much more progressive than the second half. So it should be treated as the pre-modern age. ये सेकेंड वाला व्यू यही कहता है। अब माय स्टूडेंट्स प्लीज एश्योर मी whether you are clear or not, then I will help you further. Mr. Ankur, what is the condition of my students? Are they okay? Are they comfortable? Are they clear? Or any question from their side? अरे भाई मैंने कल भी आपको समझाया है। Yesterday I have already clarified this matter. Why you are perplexed about making notes? I will provide you the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 26th January. So in 26th January, that is the holiday for you. The day after tomorrow, I will give you a book list, but that will be simply a formality for you. Ankur asked them, have they completed the NCERT book of class 8th? Have they completed or not? So please tell them to discard romanticism about the preparation. Leave your preparation to me. and follow me as I am giving you the guideline. I am already keeping in my mind ki what is required. So first, let them complete the NCERT book. Make a brief study, and then at least for 6 to 7 days follow the method of my classes, how I am carrying the class. Then you will talk about the notes. Otherwise, notes is simply a garbage for you. Notes will simply remain to be garbage for you. आप नोट्स बनाने के लिए नहीं पढ़ रहे हो, आप डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए पढ़ रहे हो, और नोट्स बनाना केवल एक मीन्स है, नोट्स बनाना आपका एंड नहीं है. तो पहले समझो तो सही भाई कैसे पढ़ा जाता है. अभी मैं कहूंगा नोट्स बनाओ, आप क्या नोट्स बनाओगे? आपको क्या पता चलेगा क्या आपके लिए राइट है, क्या आपके लिए रॉन्ग है? तो लेट मी डू द सर्विस फर्स्ट. फ्रॉम टुडे ऑनवर्ड्स यू पीपल विल नॉट रेज द इशू हाउ टू मेक द नोट्स. आई विल गिव द सजेशन एट द राइट टाइम कि नाउ यू कैन मेक द नोट्स. और नोट्स बनाना क्या है? Which I have given to you, that is notes. You will digest all these things, you will answer the question in UPSC. And for prelims, I have already compiled a book, that is Concept Capsule. Take the book from the market, but not at this stage, you can say. After 1 week at least. Give me the time for 1 week. In 1 week, I will make you conceptually clear. And then everything would be okay. Question is not clear. Who is the always please speak the question, Mr. Ankur, along with the name of the student. Eril Srivastava, what is the question? Disintegration of cult. Eril, your question is not clear. What do you mean by disintegration of cult? Cult is normally the religious cult. So why the disintegration of Mughal Empire will lead to the disintegration of cult? And Mughal Empire, the disintegration of Mughal Empire didn't make any major change on socio-cultural economic front. India was leading the life as it has done earlier. Mughal Empire was simply a political empire which disintegrated. It was a superstructure, but basic structure of India remained the same. Hindu-Muslim amity, the spread of art and culture at regional stage, at the regional level, the presence of so many religious groups. So all were already there. So the end of Mughal Empire didn't bring any major change. Sachin, just I have discussed the debate once again for your sake of convenience, Sachin Patnaik. I am once again repeating the thing. Actually, the term dark age has been propounded by the term dark age has been coined by a British apologist historian, British means British के पक्ष वाला इतिहासकार. He was Sir Jadunnath Sarkar. He characterized it as dark age because according to him politically this period is marked by political anarchy, as the disintegration of Mughal Empire resulted into the political fragmentation and political upheavals, particularly for the fact that the Marathas were pillaging and looting the different regions. Economically, it was an era of decline as Mughal Empire was facing the condition of crisis. And culturally, it was an era of decline as the Mughals used to be a great patron to art and culture, and Mughal became out of scene. So after the decline of Mughal Empire, the artists and literary persons, so they were rendered unemployment, and no one was there to patronize them. So it is on this basis they try to characterize it as the dark age. but now this concept of dark age became outdated, and now it is believed that in place of dark age, this period should be treated as an era or pre-modern era, because it is having new potentialities. What is new potentialities? It is true, in place of Mughal Empire, there was the multi-state system and there was the rise of regional states. But many regional states like Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad, Mysore, Travancore would have provided the good government to their people. And economically, there was the influx of precious metal from Europe due to European trade. And culturally, there were the regional states which could have given the patronage to art and culture. So even after the disintegration of Mughal Empire, art and culture spread at regional level. So now this is the new concept. Mr. Sachin Patnaik, have you been clear? Okay. So now you will go through this study material. About the notes, I will give you the instruction. Up now, why did the Marathas fail to provide a political alternative to disintegrating Mughal Empire? My students, I have dealt with this aspect with you, and you people have to be mentally alert. Actually, you know, when the Mughal Empire was just on the verge of collapse, in the meantime, there was the rise of Maratha power. Starting from a Marathwada region, it could have taken the form of an all India empire. In fact, Marathas were in a studies class, I have made you clear, although Marathas started their career as landlords, but these landlords were organized into an state power by Shivaji, and Shivaji could have created a Maratha state in 1674. मतलब जो मराठास थे वो बेसिकली लैंडलॉर्ड्स थे, लेकिन उन लैंडलॉर्ड्स को एक स्टेट का क्रेडिट, स्टेट का फॉर्म देने का श्रेय किसको है? तो शिवाजी को है। शिवाजी ने उनको एक स्टेट बना दिया। ओके, अब पेशवाज के टाइम में, पेशवाज कौन थे इन स्टडी क्लास मैंने आपको क्लियर कर दिया है। तो पेशवाज के अंतर्गत ये बन गए बड़े एम्पायर, बालाजी विश्वनाथ, बाजीराव फर्स्ट, बालाजी बाजीराव, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा। So question arises, now the question arises, when the Marathas could have created an all India empire, so why did it not displace or replace the Mughal empire? Why did Marathas fail to give a replacement to Mughal empire? इनके पास भी तो माइट था, इतने बड़े पावर थे, तो मुगल एम्पायर को क्यों नहीं ये डिस्प्लेस कर सके, क्या वजह थी? उसी का आंसर इसमें दिया हुआ है। सो प्लीज पे अटेंशन टू इट। द मराठा किंगडम एक्सपेंडेड रैपिडली फ्रॉम साउदर्न इंडिया टू नॉर्थ इंडिया एंड वाज बिगिनिंग टू एक्वायर फीचर ऑफ एन ऑल इंडिया एम्पायर। एंड व्हेनेवर यू स्टार्ट अ क्वेश्चन, you start with some, you can say, quotable statement, some, you can say, introductory lines. So this is simply an introductory line. Apart from this, the Maratha states seem to challenge to the authority of Mughal Empire, but due to its structural weakness, this is the point, structural weakness and policy discrepancies. There was certain structural weakness and policy discrepancies, it failed to emerge as a consolidated empire. My student, this is your thesis line. Here I have to make you clear, possibly in the first one class I might have highlighted this point, कि whenever you are doing the question writing, so firstly try to find out कि what is the nature of the question. If the question is a hypothetical question or the question is an argumentative question. What is the difference between a hypothetical question or an argumentative question? In hypothetical question, you are making a hypothesis. You are making a hypothesis, and in order to prove hypothesis, you start writing. मतलब कोई स्टेटमेंट दिया हुआ होगा, उसमें कोई आपको आर्गुमेंट नहीं करना है, उस स्टेटमेंट को आपको प्रूव करना है. You have to start the question with the introduction. एक इंट्रोडक्टरी लाइन से स्टार्ट करिए, और थोड़ा आपका जो इंट्रोडक्टरी लाइन होना चाहिए दैट शुड बी in one sense the introductory line should be eye catching. At least it is going to be eye catching, that will you can say draw your attention, so that should be the eye catching. और तो एक इंट्रोडक्टरी लाइन होना चाहिए एंड देन देयर शुड बी अ थेसिस लाइन. उसके बाद उसमें एक थेसिस लाइन होना चाहिए. थेसिस लाइन का मतलब एक स्टैंड होना चाहिए. तो देखो दिस इज अ थेसिस लाइन. Here you have given the hint, challenge to the authority of the Mughal Empire, but due to its structural weakness and policy discrepancies. मतलब आपने एग्जामिनर को दो प्रॉमिस किया है कि देखो भाई मराठा एम्पायर में दो वीकनेस था. एक तो स्ट्रक्चरल वीकनेस था, दूसरा उनके पॉलिसी में डिस्क्रिपेंसीज थी. इस कारण से वो एम्पायर को नहीं रिप्लेस कर पाए. अब शेष जो आपकी राइटिंग होगी, रेस्ट ऑफ जो आपकी राइटिंग होगी, ये इसी थेसिस को प्रूव करने के लिए होगी. यानी रेस्ट ऑफ राइटिंग शुड बी चैनलाइज्ड टू प्रूव द थेसिस. The rest of the writing should be channelized to prove the thesis. That is, you can say, a very apt method for question writing. अब now start. Point first, मतलब even you can give the point or even you can give a dot, whatever you like. Policy discrepancy का मतलब होता है, have they asked in Hindi or English? Simply, okay. Actually, my students, many of you are from English and some and majority of you are from English. So I will take care of both of you. Policy discrepancies का मतलब होता है contradictions in policy. Discrepancies. Discrepancies means contradictions. Means कि internal contradictions. मतलब पॉलिसी में हिंदी में कहोगे विरोधाभास ही, माने पॉलिसी में विरोधाभास, ये होती है discrepancies. And it failed to emerge as a consolidated empire. Then here give you a dot, and after dot you have to start. Feudal character of Maratha Confederacy. Feudal character, why? I have told you Maratha Confederacy because Peshwa was in the center and different, you can say, Maratha houses were hovering around the post of the Peshwa: Holkar, Sindhia, Gayakwar, Bhosle. So Peshwa was in the center and other constituents of Maratha Confederacy were moving around the institution of Peshwa. And Peshwa was the central authority. But as it took a feudal character, so central authority was weakened. And different constituents like Bhosle, Sindhia, Holkar, so they were not ready to accept the dominance of Peshwa. So centrifugal forces were active. Centrifugal forces were active and it became instrumental behind the decline. So the Peshwa was at the helm of Maratha Confederacy and its other constituents were Sindhia, Bhosle, Holkar and Gayakwar. High aspirations for power among chieftains led to the weakening of Maratha state. That is the first one point. Second dot or second point, weak financial base. A weak financial base, economic structure of the Maratha state was very fragile. Thus, they were dependent on Chauth and Sardeshmukhi for additional income. Consequently, the Maratha state became military and feudalistic in nature. I have told you yesterday because this system of Chauth and Sardeshmukhi was devised by Shivaji, but basic problem was that particularly at the time of Balaji Vishwanath, in fact, Balaji Vishwanath got the right of collecting Chauth and Sardeshmukhi from 6 Deccani states. मतलब कि मुगल इंपेयर से उसने डील किया कि हम जो दक्कन में 6 स्टेट्स है वहां से हम चौथ और सरदेशमुखी कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. But as it was not possible for a central command for making collection among the from all the 6 states, so that's why you can say that the central command divided the right of collection of Chauth and Sardeshmukhi among different Maratha houses. So these Maratha houses emerged to be slightly more powerful and they started to give a challenge of central authority in course of time. So there was the formation of Maratha Confederacy and it created some sort of weakness. Means that the financial basis of the Maratha Empire was fragile, weak. Third one, economic activities were not promoted by the Maratha state. The Maratha Empire, similar to the Roman Empire, relied on the money received from outside. It didn't show any interest in the growth of agriculture, while they had direct control over the fertile plains of Krishna, Tungabhadra, Doab and Ganga Yamuna Doab regions. But here the point is that, in fact, they were not having the direct control. Rather, you can say, whenever the Marathas were expanding from south to North India, so in the studies class I have made you clear that their nature was just like the Roman Empire, because Roman Empire preferred to meet its expenditure through loot and plunder of other regions. It was not willing to develop its own economic base or didn't promote economy. Promotion of economy was not the liking of Roman Empire, not the preferred, you can say, the preference of Roman Empire. The same happened in case of Maratha Empire as well. Maratha Empire also preferred to, you can say, bring the money from outside through loot and plunder, and it never preferred to, you can say, develop its own productive assets. So even if it was just expanding from south to North India, so at least it could have had the control over, direct control over the Krishna, Tungabhadra, Doab, that was the fertile region, or Ganga and you can say Gangetic Basin or Ganga Yamuna Doab. So these were the fertile regions, and there the Maratha could have done a lot for promotion of agriculture and agrarian base. बट मराठा डिडंट डू सो लाइक रोमन एम्पायर. मतलब रोमन एम्पायर की आदत थी कि बाहर के लूट के माल से खाओ, खुद इकोनॉमी को डेवलप करने की कोशिश ना करो. वही मराठों ने किया, जबकि उनके पास चॉइस था कि कृष्णा, तुंगभद्रा, दोआब को और गंगा यमुना दोआब को अपने कंट्रोल में लेकर वहां इकोनॉमी को डेवलप कर सकते थे. एंड 4. The Maratha leaders failed to form a united front even during the time of crisis. A vivid example of it is the Third Battle of Panipat. Actually, even during the time of exigency, I will discuss with you of what happened in the Third Battle of Panipat. I am giving a briefing. Actually, this just 1 minute. Just pay attention to it. Actually, Ahmad Shah Abdali, he came from Afghanistan. What happened in Third Battle of Panipat, I am making clear. Ahmad Shah Abdali, he came from Afghanistan. Crossing this region, actually Ahmad Shah Abdali had initially already controlled Punjab. And on Punjab, he appointed his son Taimur as the governor of Punjab. So Taimur was governor of Punjab of Ahmad Shah Abdali. Here you know that Ahmad Shah Abdali could not have made a permanent presence in India, because after all there was the geographical distance between the region of India and Afghanistan. So Ahmad Shah Abdali used to appear from time to time. He was doing some sort of plundering, collecting the money and then returning to Afghanistan. And this process has started from 1748 onwards, and it was going on. In the meantime, in North India, there was not another power. Mughal Empire was already weakened, so there was political void or vacuum. So Ahmad Shah Abdali now started to involve into the politics of Delhi, and then Ahmad Shah Abdali was having its hegemony even on Delhi. But in the meantime, Marathas turned to be too much ambitious. At the time of Balaji Bajirao, he was the Peshwa, there were some ambitious Maratha leaders. Who were they? So Raghunath Rao and Malhar Rao Holkar. Malhar Rao Holkar was coming from Holkar family, or Raghunath Rao from Bhosle family. So both were too much ambitious. And Dattoji Sindhia and Rannoji Sindhia from Sindhia family. So all appeared in North India. And they were basically doing the plundering work. They are taking money, collecting money from Indian powers, creating the pressure over that. So Marathas, due to their, you can say, behavior, and due to their craving for money from other states, they almost deserted all of the Hindu states. Although when Bajirao first, he appeared in North India earlier, so Bajirao the first was just adopted a very strong diplomatic ploy when he gave the slogan हिंदू पाद पादशाही। तो उसने जो हिंदू पाद पादशाही का जो स्लोगन दिया, उसको लगा इससे जाट राजपूत ये सब हमारे प्रति अट्रैक्टेड होंगे, तो इनिशियली ही डिड सो। बट अप टू द टाइम ऑफ बालाजी बाजीराव, मराठाज became indiscriminate in collecting money from different Indian states, and they were not having even the petty consideration for the fact that the Rajput states and Jat states should be the friendly state. So at the time of exigencies, no state was in a position to stand by Maratha, because Maratha deserted all the states due to their policy. तो इसमें हुआ ऐसा कि मराठास एम्बिशियस थे ही, एंड लेटर दे वेर इन्वॉल्व इन द पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ दिल्ली, एंड दे स्टार्टेड टू वर्क on the behalf of a Mughal wazir, because Mughal wazir hired Maratha while giving the money, and the name of Mughal wazir was Imadul Mulk. And along with Imadul Mulk, he murdered and assassinated Mughal Emperor Mughal Emperor Alamgir II. So Mughal Emperor Alamgir II was assassinated by Imadul Mulk, his wazir, and Marathas were also giving support to Imadul Mulk in return of money. So Marathas were badly involved into the politics of Delhi. When Ahmad Shah Abdali came to know, so he became furious. The Marathas have just spoiled our all efforts in Hindustan. In the meantime, Marathas from Delhi, Marathas moved to Punjab, and Marathas defeated Taimur. Taimur was the son of Ahmad Shah Abdali, and expelled Taimur from Punjab and controlled Punjab as well. Here I have to remind you, there was the time that Bajirao the First gave a very, you can say, lofty slogan, by directing our great efforts to Hindustan, the Maratha flag will fly from Krishna to Attock. Krishna means Krishna river, Attock near Peshawar. So for time being, this prophecy came true, and the Maratha flag started to fly even near Attock. Marathas reached up to the river Indus, and for the first time in history, the horses of Maratha drank water from the river Indus. पहली बार मराठों के घोड़ों ने सिंधु नदी में पानी पिया, ये साधारण सी बात नहीं थी। और मराठा का जो फ्लैग था वो कृष्णा नदी से लेकर अटक तक फहराने लगा। यह भविष्यवाणी बहुत पहले प्रोफेसी बाजीराव फर्स्ट ने की थी, और ऐसा लगा कि ये प्रोफेसी अब करेक्ट हो गया। लेकिन जब अहमद शाह अब्दाली को पता चला तो ही वॉज टू मच फ्यूरियस, एंड अहमद शाह अब्दाली जस्ट इन्वेडेड पंजाब. So as Ahmad Shah Abdali invaded Punjab, so Marathas could not block the route of Ahmad Shah Abdali. Dattoji Scindia was killed in the skirmishes with the Marathas. Then Marathas was advancing towards Delhi. Ahmad Shah Abdali was advancing towards Delhi, and Marathas persistently failed to block their route. So during this critical juncture, the Marathas, you can say, Malhara Holkar and Raghunath Rao sent a message to Peshwa to send the reinforcement against Afghans. So there was a military commander, Sadasiv Rao Bhau. He appeared in North India while representing Peshwa, and in order to face the Afghans. But even during this critical juncture, the Marathas could not form the joint front. For example, Malhar Rao Holkar was having the differences with you can say Sadasiv Rao Bhau, who was the nephew of Peshwa. Because Sadasiv Rao Bhau was a Brahmin and he was having a sense of arrogance. And Malhar Rao Holkar was coming from the lower caste, you know. So once Malhar Rao Holkar even made a statement, if this Brahmin will win the war, he will make us to wash his dhoti. मतलब अगर ये ब्राह्मण जीत गया तो हम लोगों से अपनी धोती साफ करवाएगा. ये इतना डिफरेंसेस था मराठों में. And finally you can say, and worst of all, no Indian power, neither Rajput nor Jat, even Surajmal Jat was not ready to extend support to Marathas. He was also irritated at the behavior of Marathas. So Marathas was having the single sympathizer, that was Imadul Mulk, Mughal Wazir, for whom Maratha had worked for years in return of money. So only Imadul Mulk was sympathizing Marathas, otherwise no other power And surprisingly, even Ahmad Shah Abdali, while coming from the foreign land, was having some sympathizer in India. And Ruhela state and some other states were giving support to Ahmad Shah Abdali. And then in the third battle of Panipat, Marathas were almost routed. On 14 January 1761 it occurred, and Marathas received a major setback. So this is the story about the third battle of Panipat. Now my students, I will just observe 1 and 2 questions and then I have to move further. This one. What is the question? This question is in UPSC 2017. My students, you have to catch up the question and that I will discuss with you. That is question, clarify how mid-18th century India was beset with the specter of a fragmented polity. 150 words. Clarify how mid-18th century India was beset with the specter of a fragmented polity. My students, I have told you, in evaluation of 18th century, you find 2 different perspectives. One perspective is taking 18th century as the period of political fragmentation. As one perspective is taking the history of 18th century as the period of political fragmentation. Clarify how mid-18th century India was beset with the specter of a fragmented polity. अब ये 150 words. So actually there are the 2 perspectives. According to one perspective, this period is marked by the decline and disintegration, and according to the second one perspective, no, this period is imbued with new potentialities. So particularly in this statement, you will come to realize that no, this period is supposed to be marked by political fragmentation. Political fragmentation is the main feature of this period, So just go through it. According to one perspective. According to another perspective, regional states provided the good government. तो माय स्टूडेंट्स, मतलब मैं आपको यह बताना चाहता हूं, एक बार मेरी बात को समझना कि मेरा अपना मानना है, अभी आप बिगिनिंग के फेज में हो, धीरे धीरे मैं इसको समझाने में कामयाब रहूंगा कि क्वेश्चन को किस डायरेक्शन में ले जाना है, यह डायरेक्शन क्वेश्चन खुद बताता है. मीन्स कि the question will itself give us an indication what should be the direction of the question, whether we have to agree with the question or agree with the statement or disagree with the statement. अब जैसे मैं ये उदाहरण बताता हूँ, ये आपसे पूछते हैं कि clarify how mid-18th century India was beset with the specter of fragmented polity. मतलब हमसे पूछा है कि आप यह बताइए कि कैसे mid-18th century का इंडिया, मतलब 1750 तक कैसे इंडिया पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन का शिकार था. तो हमारे पास तो कोई स्कोप है ही नहीं, हमको बताना होगा देखो भाई ऐसे पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन का शिकार था. लेकिन वही अगर वो क्वेश्चन पूछ देते कि अच्छा क्या आप इस बात से सहमत हैं, डू यू एग्री विद द स्टेटमेंट कि द इंडिया ऑफ मिड 18th सेंचुरी वाज बीसेट विद पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन और बीसेट विद यू कैन से अ फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी. क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि वो फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी का शिकार था? तब हम उसको बचाते, कहते कि देखिए भाई आपको ऐसा लगता तो है, लेकिन जो रीजनल स्टेट्स आए हैं वो भी अच्छी गवर्नमेंट दे रहे हैं, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. और हिस्ट्री में ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ है कि एम्पायर का टाइम कम रहा है, रीजनल स्टेट्स के टाइम अधिक रहे हैं, रीजनल स्टेट्स ही एक अच्छी गवर्नमेंट दे पाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि रीजनल स्टेट्स बुरा है, तो हम उसको बचाते. लेकिन ये तो पूछ रहा है कि आप हमें ये बताइए कि कैसे पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन का शिकार था. अब हम पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन का शिकार बता देंगे, and simultaneously from our side we will do one work. You will give a hint towards the phenomena, although in this question they have not asked this thing expressively, but there is the implied meaning. Due to this condition of political fragmentation, British company was benefited and it could move from, you can say, or British company gradually consolidate its power and it could move from the status of a mercantile company to a political power, making benefit from the situation of this political fragmentation. तो ये अपनी तरफ से कह देना होगा. सो प्लीज गो थ्रू द क्वेश्चन आंसर, यू विल बी क्लियर. The emergence of multi-state system remained to be a striking feature of political scenario of mid-18th century India. In fact, on one hand, the powerful Mughal Empire disintegrated, and on the other hand, many regional states came into existence. We can divide these states into following two groups: successor states and rebel states. In the first group, we can include the states like Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad. These states had been established by the Mughal officers. Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad were established by Sadat Khan, Murshid Quli Khan, Nizam ul Mulk, respectively. As far as the rebel states are concerned, it included the states like the Sikh state, the Maratha state, the Jat state, and the Afghan state as well. Once these states had asserted their independence, the Mughal power remained only symbolic in nature. In fact, the Mughal Empire lost its real sovereign power. Above all, there was competition and enmity among these states. However, the British Company took advantage of this situation and established itself as a political power. Thus, we can conclude that India in the 18th century was under the shadow of fragmented polity. This is the question. Ankur, first of all, ask my students, is any confusion, is any problem? Because I have sent this study material at their home, so they might have gone through even this question. And anywhere you find difficulty, you can ask me the question. Otherwise, I am going to deal with, because in first half of 18th century, so far UPSC has placed two questions in question paper. One question is this one question. This one question in 2017, 150 words. This one you can find out in question bank. And the second question is that is a second. And the second question I myself will make you clear. Why did the earth-shaking battles? Why did the earth-shaking battles took place in Panipat alone? Why did earth-shaking battles take place in Panipat alone? I'll deal with this question also. So this is the second one question, and that was in 2014. So make me clear, my students, up to this point, if you are clear, so then I am going to deal with that question, why the earth-shaking battles take place in Panipat alone. फ्रेगमेंटेड का मतलब होता है टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में. जैसे एक बड़ा एम्पायर की जगह जब छोटे छोटे स्टेट्स आ जाते हैं, उसी को मल्टी स्टेट सिस्टम कहते हैं, रीजनल स्टेट्स कहते हैं, उसी को फ्रेगमेंटेड पॉलिटी कहते हैं. फ्रेगमेंटेड का मतलब है कि बटा हुआ पॉलिटी, जिसको तुम पॉलिटिकल फ्रेगमेंटेशन कहते हो, उसको हिंदी में राजनीतिक विघटन कहा जाता है, मतलब कि टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में बट जाना. And then other students, my other students, are they clear? Yes. Okay. So in 2014, Ankur, just try to find out one question in 2014 UPSC. Firstly, can you search on the third battle of Panipat? Just 1 minute, my students. I have to deal with one question. So then this point, this part is clear. And from the next one class, I will start with the second half of 18th century. Actually, here we are slightly slow for the fact you are during the initial phase. So I should not fasten the course presently. And just second one thing, you people will go through NCERT book and how to and what to make the notes. So please give me some time. I will make you clear. You are in the beginning phase, very nascent phase. Note making needs some sort of experience. So please give me some time. Oh, yes. Just dictate me. Just try to find out the question. The third battle of Panipat. Battle of Panipat. The third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761. In 1761, full stop. Why, where, so many empires shaking battles so many, why were so many empires shaking battles fought at Panipat alone is simply Panipat, fought at Panipat. My students, this question is in UPSC 2014. This question is very unique type of question. Unique type of the question is that this question is not having, any sort of scheme. Question is hypothetical. You have to simply prove it. And in the first part of the question, they have just given the term. The third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761. What is the meaning behind that? That is not clear. Why they have given this term? Maybe because the syllabus of modern history starts from the mid 18th century, and they have mentioned about Panipat, even the previous Panipat, the earlier Panipat battle, 1526 at the time of Babur. And so here my point is, basically, this question, I will deal with this question, and I will just give you this question answer in the written form, because on the board, whenever I will do the dictation, so in online classes I will do the dictation and you will follow the whole question. So I think that will be tiresome for you people. So keeping this thing in mind, even this question I will give you in the model answer form in the next day, the day after tomorrow, whenever I will come. So I will just give it to you in the model answer form, so that you will be clear. Here I am going to discuss. A third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761. And why were so many empire shaking battles fought at Panipat alone? Here I am making it clear. Just 1 minute. I am taking here the map of India first, the map of India. Just let it be map. Actually, what is the basic thing? Here I have to make you. Actually, basic thing is that this is India, the map of India. Is it visible for you or not? आप इसको देख रहे हो ना? So that is Hindu Kush range, okay? And Hindu Kush range, that is Kabul, that is Ghazni, and that is Kandahar. So Kabul, Ghazni and Kandahar were earlier supposed to be the scientific defense line of India. मतलब जो काबुल, गजनी और कांधार था, उसको भारत की वैज्ञानिक सीमा रेखा मानते थे, साइंटिफिक डिफेंस लाइन ऑफ इंडिया. क्यों? क्योंकि इफ सम पावर इज हैविंग द कंट्रोल ओवर द काबुल, गजनी, कांधार डिफेंस लाइन, इट मीन्स कि जस्ट आफ्टर दैट देयर इज सुलेमान रेंज एंड देयर इज किरथर रेंज. So in Suleiman range, you will find two passes. Two passes means two darra. One is Khyber Pass, another is Gomal Pass. In Kirthar range, there is one pass, that is a Bolan Pass. Now, most of the invaders were entering into India either through Khyber Pass or through Bolan Pass, mainly Khyber Pass. But if you are having the control over Kabul, Ghazni and Kandahar defense line, it means the invaders or intruders didn't enter into India either through Khyber Pass or through Bolan Pass. It was the scientific defense line of India. But very few dynasties of India used to have the control over this defense line. Three dynasties: Maurya dynasty, Kushana dynasty, and Mughal dynasty. But if you are losing this line, then you are just coming to this line. Indus, the river Indus is the second defense line. If you know foreign invaders even used to cross the Indus defense line, then third line is the Lahore, Multan or Dipalpur defense line. Up this line was lying in Punjab, and even if you are just crossing this Lahore, Multan or Dipalpur defense line, then Punjab is being crossed, and Punjab is covered. So Punjab is once covered, so you will find here the open field of Haryana. The area of Haryana was quite open. That was the open fielded area. So there was no blockade against the foreign army, and foreign army could move smoothly in the vast region of Haryana, which is completely open area. And then this army could reach near Delhi. So just before Delhi, you can say, Panipat was a choke point. पानीपत ही एक चौक पॉइंट था जहां दिल्ली बेस्ड जो पावर होता था, वो दिल्ली बेस्ड पावर को एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती थी कि वो वहां पर पोजीशन लेकर और उसको काउंटर कर सकता है. मतलब पानीपत पे पोजीशन लेके एक बार डेस्परेट एफर्ट लगा सकता है फॉरेन आर्मी को ब्लॉक करने का. As it was a choke point. So during the first battle of Panipat, when Babur moved from Punjab, because one power should come from northwest and another power is Delhi based. In the first battle of Panipat, it was Babur who moved from Punjab, and Ibrahim Lodi came to face him at the choke point of Panipat. In the second battle of Panipat, Akbar and Bairam Khan were moving from northwest and Punjab side, and it was Hemu Vikramaditya from you can say Afghana side, so who was just trying to block its route at Panipat. And in the third battle of Panipat, actually in this question you find they have consciously mentioned about the third battle of Panipat. In the third battle of Panipat means Afghan and Marathas, Ahmad Shah Abdali and Marathas, that occurred here. So now I am returning to question. Question is, if the third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761, why were so many empire-shaking battles fought at Panipat? So my students, as they have given as the first statement, the third battle of Panipat occurred in 1761. So what is the relevance of this statement? इस statement का क्या relevance है? Here I am making clear. Actually वो जो बोलते हैं कि third battle of Panipat 1761 में हुआ, तो वहां पर I should mention and we should mention कि actually third battle of Panipat was unique in the sense because just compare the third battle of Panipat with two earlier battle of Panipat. You will find in the first battle of Panipat, one power was the Delhi based, another power was coming from outside. In second battle of Panipat, one power was Delhi based and second power was coming out. But in third battle of Panipat, both the powers were coming from outside. Afghans came from Afghanistan, Ahmad Shah Abdali, and Marathas from southern India. And surprisingly, a power, Delhi-based power, was not having any role. Mughals were not having any role. It is just like the thing, two goons matlab do gunda, they are fighting on your door and you have bolted your main door, and from the house of your window, you are simply observing the battles between the conflict between the two, which gunda is just overpowering whom. So the same became in case of the Mughal Empire. So as the Mughal Empire was not having any role in the vicinity of Delhi, in the vicinity of Mughal Empire, such a earth-shaking battle was taking place, but it was not having any role. So its symbolic meaning was that Mughal Empire became practically non-existent at that time. It was not existing. So this was the relevance. And third battle of Panipat was significant even in the sense that it didn't decide who was ruling in India. Rather, it decided who was not going to rule in India. Because after this battle, Afghans returned to Afghanistan, Marathas returned to South India, and it was the British who benefited. Can you imagine that? Later I will discuss with you. The Battle of Palasi occurred in 1757 and Battle of Buxar in 1764. But between the two battles, there was the third Battle of Panipat. In the Battle of Buxar, I will discuss with you, the British was implicated and the British was involved with the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. I will discuss with you later. If the Marathas could not have been beaten badly in the third Battle of Panipat, Marathas could have just reached at the spot and they could have intervened into the matter of the Battle of Buxar. So it was beneficial for the British. The defeat of Maratha was the beneficial for the British. Anyway, my point is simply will mention here the third Battle of Panipat was unique in the sense that both the parties came from outside and Mughal Empire was not having any role. And in the second part of the question, you have to make this point clear. Actually, whenever the defense line of Northwest was broken and the defense line of Northwest was in shambles, it was very easy for any foreign invading power to cross Punjab, because the first defense line was the river Indus, which was Kabul, Ghazni, Kandahar. If Indian power was not having the control, so the river Indus was the second line, and third line is the Lahore, Multan and Dipalpur, and even all the defense lines were crossed. So then the invaders were finding the very open field of Haryana. So just before Delhi, Panipat was a choke point. So that's why any Delhi-based power used to choose the battlefield at Panipat. So you have to mention about that. That is a geographical factor and a strategic factor, you can say. I will give you this answer in written form. This is in UPSC 2014. So my students, are you clear? Because today I am going to stop my lecture here. मैं यहीं पर अपने लेक्चर को रोक रहा हूँ. कुछ भी तुम लोगों को पूछना है, कुछ भी जानना है, तो आप मुझसे जानिए. मतलब इसमें है कि अगर उत्तर पश्चिम की अगर सुरक्षा टूट जाती तो फॉरेन जो सेना है वो पंजाब क्रॉस कर जाती, तो हरियाणा में बड़ा ही खुला मैदान था, उसको क्रॉस कर जाते तो फिर दिल्ली तक को पहुंचने वाले होते. तो फिर दिल्ली से पहले जो पानीपत है वो चौक पॉइंट, वहां पर फंसाया जा सकता है सेना को, तो दिल्ली बेस्ड पावर उसको चूज करते थे. तो माय स्टूडेंट्स, प्लीज मेक मी क्लियर. कुछ क्लियर हुआ या कोई इश्यू हो तो जस्ट then day after tomorrow I will once again, I will just move to the second half of 18th century. And for the notes, how to make the notes, so please give me some time. I will make you crystal clear. Mr. Ankur, just ask my students, are they okay or any question? Okay, so I will give you the model answer, my students. Very nice meeting with you people. Today you have solved all the question correctly, the 5 multiple choice question. Once again, I will come in the next class with the 5 multiple choice questions, and I hope you people will fastly solve the question. So I will just see you the day after tomorrow. For tomorrow Republic Day, I am giving you the prior greetings. Thank you very much. I'll see you.